Happy Friday, spooky friends. We're so glad you could join us each episode of the MMN podcast, and it also serves as a weekly meeting for our very own true crime cult.
But not to worry, you've landed in a cult with all of the flower crowns and none of the flavor aid. Take a seat around the fire, cuddle up to a baby goat, and get ready as we dig into the world of true crime. And we have a special guest today, Katrina Overstreet, who's been fighting to find her sister Kaa Taylor, who has been missing from Plant City, Florida since February 6, 2020. Welcome, Katrina.
Hi, thank you.
Yeah, we're so glad to have you here today. You are such a relentless fighter for Kaa, so thank you so much for coming and sharing her story with us.
Thank you so much for having me, honestly.
So to start off, can you tell us a little bit about Kaa? What was she like? What were her hobbies or interests?
Absolutely. The first thing when I think of Kaa is the life of the party. That's the first thing that always comes up. At family gatherings, things like that. She was always the social butterfly, speaking to all of the older family members and even the younger family members, swinging on the swings with them, things like that. Kaa is also very, 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 very smart. I mean, I don't know where she got it from, but she was really smart. Also artistic. She loved performing. She loved writing songs. She loved performing raps, and she has a YouTube channel, Cosmic Kaa.
Greetings, Earthlings. It is Cosmic Kaa from the Cosmic Kaa Show, reporting from an alternate universe.
Oh, cool.
And that's exactly
Cute.
her, Cosmic.
Oh, I love that. Cosmic Kaa.
Yeah.
And what was your relationship like with your sister? Do you have any special memories you'd be willing to share with us?
Absolutely. Well, I'll first start here. Kaa was born when I was 18 years old. So me and her mom were actually pregnant together. My son was born in June and Kaa was born in November. So of 91. So my kids and Kaa had a better relationship than me and Kaa. Kaa was not brought up around our family. And when I say our family, let me back it up a little bit. Me and Kaa have the same dad and not the same mom. So when I say she wasn't raised around our family, that's meaning her dad's side of the family. But as she got older, she, was more interested in us, also interested in having a better relationship with her dad, even though she had a good relationship, but as being older and being in different counties and she couldn't drive and things like that, that's when she started coming around us more. So after our dad died in 2019, Kaa was the baby, but I was the one that was always taking care of Dad, in his times that he didn't want to listen to the doctor. So it kind of hurt her as well. So we bonded more with that. We kind of reached out to each other to get comfort in knowing Daddy had passed. She was supposed to move in with Daddy after he got sick, and Kaa actually came to my house first before she went to go see Daddy, and Daddy called her and was fussing, "You're supposed to come over here, you're supposed to have your stuff over here," da, 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 and she's just boohoo crying. So I'm like, "Daddy, don't do that." She came to see her sister, and she wanted to see her cousins, my children. Well, she should. That really hurt her. So she decided not to go stay with Daddy. And I'd say about 6 months later, he passed. So that really crushed her from what she told me and our relationship that we had after that.
Can you tell us a bit about what Kaa's life was like leading up to her disappearance? Where was she living at the time, and was she living with anyone else?
Daddy passed in March of 2019. And then Kaya came missing February of 2020. So it's what, like 8, 9, 10, 11,
10 months.
11 months, 10, 11 months. But from what our interaction was, you know, her coming over to see me, her calling me, you know, us on Facebook and things like that, she was depressed. And there's no secret about it. Kaya was a drug user. She had been in rehab before.
Mhm.
And I believe that Daddy's passing kind of drove her back into that. And she was actually getting ready to go to another rehab.
Uh-huh.
So she was spiraling. I mean, honestly, from what I gathered, and of course she wouldn't tell me, but yeah, she was spiraling. So a situation happened with her mom, and she wasn't living with her mom anymore. So she was just kind of hopping from couch to couch with friends. She was actually at our oldest sister's house the weekend before she went missing.
Mm.
And she said that she was in good spirits. She was, you know, smiling. And I'll tell you this, me and my older sister are 2 months apart. Okay.
Mm.
She had her son in July of 90. So Kaya had more, I'm saying cousins, but her nieces and nephews, more than she did with me and her sister. So she she was just happy to see them. Our sister said that nothing was different about her, but obviously there was something going on. I don't think I've ever told anyone this, but I'm sure people know. She actually got arrested in December of 2019
Okay.
with her boyfriend, and I use the term very, very lightly.
Mm.
Um, and she told me she took the fall for him, pretty much. Court was
Wow.
actually gonna be coming up soon after she went missing. Actually, I believe they were supposed to be in court February 6th, the day that her car was found.
Wow.
So Kyle, she wasn't in a good place, but she wasn't in a bad place where she wanted to off herself.
Mm.
Okay, and that's interesting. So you knew that she had taken the fall for him, and that could come into play, I'm sure, later in this because maybe she was going to testify against him. I don't know, but like I
She
could see
changed her
that as sort
mind.
of, yeah, being okay, interesting.
Mhm.
So on February 3rd, 2020, Kaya went to visit her mom in Dade City, Florida. Can you tell us more about that visit?
I really don't know much about that visit. Kaya does have a maternal brother that was down from another state because it was his birthday. And him and his wife were there. But from what I understand from Kanitha, who's Kaya's mom, she wasn't there very long. She may have felt a little embarrassed because of the things that she had been doing prior to her disappearance.
Mm.
But I don't really know like specifics.
Okay. Can you tell us a little more about the day that Kaya disappeared?
The last time she was seen?
Yes.
Okay. So, from what we understand, February 6th, Kaya picked up her boyfriend, Jason Roberts, from his job, took him to Kevin's house, which is Jason's best friend. And from what Jason and his dad says, Kaya drove off. And that was the last time she was seen. Now, police do have footage of Kaya going to an ATM early the night before he picked him up from work.
Okay.
She was getting money out of the ATM. They were also at a sex shop in Tampa. Um, her phone, once they found her car on February 6th, her friend got her phone and was going through pictures and things like that, you know, messages trying to figure out where Kaya was. And Kaya actually had pictures of her in I say the famous pink and blue striped dress.
Mm.
So they knew she had her phone on February 6th because that's when those pictures were. And then the police saw her on the ATM, or the video for the ATM, the night before. So after February 6th, there's been no sightings.
Okay. And you have mentioned that Kaya was last seen by her boyfriend around 4 p.m. after dropping him off at a friend's house. Has that been confirmed by the police? Like, I know there's no, sightings or whatever, but like, how do people feel about that? Does that seem like a certain thing?
In my opinion, it's not certain because there's no tangible evidence. It's
Right.
what three people said. I can say the sky is purple.
Yeah.
And until you go outside and see it for yourself, then it's blue. So no, I don't think it's confirmed at all, period. No one, from where her car was found, no one said that they actually saw her getting out of the car, but they haven't said that anyone else was getting out of the car. So
Okay.
in my opinion, no, it's not confirmed. Her last confirmed was the pictures that she was taking in the dress.
Okay. Kaya's car was found still running with her belongings inside and her phone on the ground. To me, that suggests something wasn't right, whether it was foul play or some sort of emergency for Kaya. Why do you believe that police treated her car as an abandoned car rather than some kind of emergency?
Oh, I called them and asked them that very same question.
Mm-hmm.
And they say they have no policies and procedures for abandoned cars.
What?
That is exactly
It
what.
sounds pretty unlikely that someone would abandon their car. Like, I'm sure that doesn't happen more often than, say, a missing person with an empty car. So it seems that strange that they would jump to that conclusion as the first
It's
thing.
it's actually very common in the area that she went missing.
Oh,
Also in
yeah?
Polk County, yeah, you'll see a lot of cars just abandoned on the side of the road, things like that. But what gets
But
me
running.
exactly
Running with their belongings,
Yeah, the
wallet, phone
belongings.
still there?
in
Hmm.
the middle of the road, well, not in the middle of the road, but with her back part of the car out into the road blocking traffic. That's not abandoned, honey. That's
Yeah.
important. That's a
Yeah.
sense of urgency.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I did. That's the first thing I asked when I called.
Right. I mean, we hear so much about, the difference between when somebody disappears and whether there's a possibility of them just deciding to take off and not tell anybody, or
Mhm.
whether something happened to them. Like, usually the factor is, did they bring their stuff?
Right.
Because if they didn't
Absolutely.
bring their purse, their wallet, their phone, nothing, that's fishy. Who does that?
Especially with Kaya and her phone. Kaya will
Mm,
be in the shower with her phone.
right.
I mean, she's a 28-year-old woman who doesn't want their. I'm 51. I have to have my phone. I just have to.
Right.
Mm,
But for it to be running, cell phone on the ground in the middle of the street is absolutely not just an abandoned vehicle, period.
right.
Are you satisfied with the way her case is being handled now?
I am not because I'm kind of wishy-washy there because I don't talk to the detective as much as I used to. And this is why. So since our dad has passed, they don't have to legally tell our side of the family anything. So um, after I'd called so many times, the detective made that very clear to me. So I only call him when I have leads.
Mm,
Okay.
Wow.
Um, I don't want to ask Kenitha every time she goes and sees this detective, or if the detective calls her, I'm not going to keep asking her because she's got to relive this thing over and over and over. This is her
yeah.
only daughter. Kaya is her
Right.
only daughter. I don't want to do that to her.
Yeah.
I wouldn't want anyone to do it to me.
Hmm.
However, it is important for me because I'm fighting so hard for her to get any type of leads that are coming through. So I have to do my due diligence to get the information that I need. Sometimes I'll call her and say, hey, can you just tell Detective Florio that I'm going to call and he's okay with giving me the information, or, anything like that. Um, but I don't know if you want to keep this in here, but I don't like him. I just don't. I don't.
Yeah.
I've called with numerous leads to him and he doesn't get back to me to where it goes. One in particular lead that I won't go into here um, is something that is definitely worth looking into. And I don't know how much he's actually looked into it because he won't tell me. I'll give you an example of this detective. I'm from Polk County, which is like next to Hillsborough County. The group, we are the Essentials, that are actually working on Kaya's case for Kaya's mom's side of the family, was looking for another missing person in Polk County, North Lakeland, actually. North Lakeland, Dade City, and Plant City, they're all kind of like a little circle. We are the Essentials found a body, a woman's body. And so I called Polk County Sheriff's Office, not knowing what to do, but asking if this could, have you heard about it? Could this possibly be my sister? Anything. So they explained to me it has to be police to police communication about something like that. So I called Detective Florio and I said, there's a woman that has been found deceased in Polk County. And can you please call Polk County and get some information about it? And he's like, oh my goodness, no one's told me about that. And then he tells me, well, if I find out anything, I'll definitely let you know. You already told me, you don't have to tell me nothing. And then you're going to pull this. I think he forgets who he's talking to sometimes. I'm sure he's got a lot of cases, but no. Hillsborough County is like one of the largest counties in the nation for missing persons. However, they have no missing persons division. Every missing person goes to a homicide detective. Now, me, and this is just common sense. You don't have to have a PhD or be whatever. If you have a murder and you have a missing person and you have evidence on that murder, you have no evidence on a missing person. Which one are you going to hone in on and try and go ahead and close so that'll be a case off your desk? You're going to get that homicide.
Right.
That's why so many people are still missing from Hillsborough. They need a missing persons division. The task force, no, they need a division. They also need a civilian go-between, because people like me who now have no respect for the police, it shouldn't be that way. If you want me to respect the police, give me a reason to. And maybe that advocate can be the go-between. Hey, let's have a sit down. This is how I'm feeling. Because that's why I started the missing struggle. For me, it was a struggle. It was a mental struggle. It was a physical struggle. It was a struggle getting information from the police. It's just like some people are found. They have the resources to go and see different counselors and, things like that. The family doesn't. I mean, if you think about it, missing people that are found, they go through the, the psychological, emotional well-being, but families aren't invited to that.
Right.
So that's what hurt me so bad, especially in our side of the family's dynamic. We have no legal say so. If Kanitha didn't talk to me tomorrow, I would know anything. And it's sad. Who's going to advocate for us? We love her just like they love her,
With Kaya's case, is there anything in particular that that you would like the authorities to explore further? Anything that you think is like a lead worth, following up, or anything like that they're not pursuing?
I don't know if they're pursuing it or not, so I really can't answer that question.
Yeah.
Again, I'm going to continue to call him and give him leads because it's important that my sister is found. I am also going to go looking for her. I am going to do searches. I'm not going to stop, and I'll go anywhere. I'll knock on doors. I'll go through pastures. Yeah, yeah. So no, I can't answer that question really.
Yeah.
So we've read that Kaya's clothes she was last seen wearing were found in the trunk of the car. Were those the clothes she was last seen wearing by her mom or by her boyfriend?
That was actually the clothes that they saw that Kevin and Jason said that she had on, and it was also in the pictures that were in her phone that I spoke of earlier.
Yeah.
So we knew that she had those on that day.
Wow.
Now, she picked up Jason at 4 p.m., dropped him off. The job's like 15 minutes away. So we have nothing after that. Nothing.
So mysterious.
Yeah.
Very.
On January 19th, 2020, less than 3 weeks before Kaya's disappearance, a 23-year-old woman named Veronica Reyes Diaz went missing in nearby Dover, Florida, after picking up her kids in Plant City. Veronica bears a striking resemblance to Kaya. To your knowledge, has law enforcement considered that their cases could be connected?
As far as I know, I don't know. I don't know. However, I will say this. Veronica went missing 6 miles away from where Kaya's car was found. Because Veronica and Kaya look so much alike, the dark hair, olive skin, thick build. If you see a car running and abandoned and you have a missing person 6 miles up the road, that to me doesn't make sense either. So this woman could have been driving away or stole someone's car to try and get away from someone, and you don't even investigate that. I can tell you that most of the family on Kaya's mom's side don't think it's a correlation of it, but for me, I am not putting anything out the window. Everything is open. Period.
Right.
Everything. I don't care what it is. She can be zapped up by aliens. It's a possibility. Everything's a possibility.
Absolutely. And are there any other details that you can share about Kaya's disappearance? Anything at all that might help our listeners? Maybe they saw something that they didn't realize. Like, is there anything that we're missing that could help find her?
There's really not. I know there was a full breakfast container that was found in her car, that she went and ate breakfast with someone, because Kaya's like me, she likes to eat, so it wouldn't be any leftovers. And there is a strawberry plant where her car was found. There were there I don't know how to explain it, but it's kind of like a warehouse where semi trucks go in and they empty or pack up the trucks. Her car was found at a little after 7. Someone still could have been in their semi truck resting. There's a video camera that didn't reach out, which I don't believe. But anyways, and there's houses all around where her car was found. Somebody somewhere has to know something. If she disappeared from where her car was found, Kaya would yell. She's already loud. That's just, like I said, she likes to perform. She's very witty. That's the type of person she is. So someone around there said something. You do not have to be afraid. If you don't want your name told, if you don't want to be brought up in any way, please reach out to me. Please reach out to me. And you can reach me on Facebook or The Missing Struggle on Facebook. But somebody saw something. Even that time of the evening where her car was found, it's like a major highway. Like if you know 95 South, you know that road is very heavily populated. Okay. All times of the night and day. I actually went out there one evening and sat there from like 1 o'clock in the morning to 5 o'clock, and it was still very busy. So someone had to see something. And I'm just begging anyone, talk to me. Talk to me. That's all I ask.
And you raised such an interesting point with like door cams and stuff everybody has now. And that makes me think, when I was trying to do some background on Kaya's case, I didn't see a lot of news articles. So like, was this publicized at all in the area? Because like, maybe you had a door cam facing the street and you just didn't know that she was missing.
Yeah, you wouldn't know to look.
Mm-hmm. That is the problem. That's the problem. When Kaya first came up missing, I called and I'm not talking about big stations. I called every single station in Polk County, Hillsborough County, everywhere, multiple times. I emailed. You know how many people came? Well, one news station came out, Bay News 9. Now, as her case gained momentum, from all of us, pushing her face and her case and things out there, they slowly started, straggling in, but there's still only like, okay, when you're missing, little blurb here, little blurb there. One of the young ladies her dad was in our group, was actually found. She was also from Plant City. Boy, when I tell you, the news media jumped on that like stank on shit. They were like, oh my God, okay, this is one of the 3 that went missing in the 6-mile radius. And so no, it's 4 years later and you still won't find that much. Some people get on the bandwagon and some don't. So every chance that I get to talk about Kaya on any type of platform, I'm going to do it.
For sure. Do you have a sense of where Kaya's case currently stands? Do you know whether there's been persons of interest, anything like that, where it's at today?
They haven't told me, the detective hasn't told me if there's any persons of interest, but when I talked to him, I'd say probably last week or the week before, he still said that it's active and it's open. So he won't give any information. He won't even give any information to the news media. And I've had, some independent people reach out to, I'm going to tell you what
That is not helpful
at all. Let me tell you. So, in Florida, there was the Strawberry Festival in Plant City. And then I think it was the WWE SmackDown came to Tampa, which is in Hillsborough. And then the Super Bowl was somewhere in Florida. They told an independent news caster that they had to handle all of and a sheriff deputy died or something. They had to cover the funeral. They had to cover WWE, and they had to go help cover the Super Bowl or something like that, and wouldn't talk to her. They just kept giving her the same excuses. Like, they won't give anyone any information. And I kind of understand that, because you don't want to leak too much, but you're having press conferences about a drug deal or, a drug arrest, but you won't do a press conference for a missing person, especially with that kind of circumstances,
Right.
I even tried to push the agenda of me having 3 people missing in my family to the news media, thinking that they would pick it up. Nah. So just kind of at a loss, but it's not going to stop me.
Yeah.
You are a force.
Thank you.
Well, what can our viewers and listeners do to help? What can they do if they've seen something, or if they want to help get the word out? What would be most helpful for you?
I think just pushing her face in her case. Anytime I go out, I'm a walking billboard. I've got shirts. I've got...
I love that.
I've got wine glasses, because I'm a wine girl. Everything is pushing her case. So if anyone in the public can please share her flyers, talk about her, all we need is that push. Call your local news stations. I don't care if you're in Timbuktu and you hear this case and you're like, this is a shame. Call them, write emails, do anything. anything. We do have events every first Saturday of every February. Come out, support us with some more other missing cases, because I'm not just doing this for Kaya. I'm doing this for every missing person that does not have a voice. I have to. That's my call of duty right now. That's my will to meaning.
Wow, that's incredible. Thank you so much, Katrina,
Yeah, and
for
also
being here and for all of that
yeah,
you're doing.
but
Yeah.
also, how can we get our hands on one of those T-shirts?
Oh,
I love it.
Private message me. I'll get it. I'll
Will
get it for
do.
you.
And is the February 3rd walk, is that in Florida? Is that in Plant City?
I actually have, well, we, the Miss and Struggle, always have one in different parts of the country. The first one was actually in Polk County, Florida. The second one was here in Indianapolis. We were going to have the third one in New York, but we decided to go back to Florida. So we're trying to figure out Tampa, Orlando, which area of that. And what it is again, it's not really a walk, but it's to educate the public. That's my big thing. Educate the public that there are missing persons out there that you guys have no idea about. So that's what we do.
amazing.
Well, definitely keep us updated, because I would love to come, especially if there's one in Florida.
Okay. Absolutely.
All right. Thank you so much. I guess that's enough true crime for 1 week. If you just can't get enough MMN, you can find us on all the socials.
You can find us on Instagram at MMN True Crime, on Twitter at M Murder News, on TikTok at MMN True Crime, and on Facebook you can find our page by searching for Murdered and Missing News.
And while you're there, you can also join our Facebook group, which will also pop up when you search for Murdered and Missing News.
And if you like what you've been hearing each week on the podcast, let us know by leaving us a comment, like, subscribe, and maybe go the extra mile and leave our show a 5-star review on Apple Podcasts. We so appreciate the feedback, any feedback you have, but try to keep it positive because we're very gentle spirits.
Have a great week and see you next Friday.
Bye, spooky friends.